Welcome into the Michigan Football Report presented by Magic Spoon Cereal. I'm rocking Magic Spoon all day. Folks, I just want to pour this stuff in my mouth and get going and eating it. It is the tastiest, healthiest, most nutrition-packed breakfast food out there. Go to magicspoon.com/goblue. Get $5 off your first order. Believe me on this one. I wouldn't promote this as much as I do if I didn't absolutely love it myself. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, and I am your host, James Yoder, rocking some Magic Spoon. And we're going to talk some rumors today around the 2021 Michigan Football Fall Camp. And with next week being game week, a lot of news and rumors will be flying out of camp. Before we get started, I want to ask you a question. How many of these have you done? It's 0 through 5. How many of these have you done? Have you been to a Michigan football home game? Been to a Michigan football road game? Been to a Michigan-Ohio State game? You head out to a Michigan Bowl game, and have you bet on a Michigan game? I guess there's 6 responses here, 0 through 5. I've done all 5, okay? I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to pin this comment below the video. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there. So 0 through 5, how many of these have you done? Leave it up on the screen for one more second. Home game, road game, Michigan-Ohio State at either stadium, been to a Michigan Bowl game, and have bet on a Michigan football game yourselves. All right, let's get this show started. First rumor on today's show is the Michigan football culture in 2021, the same as back in the Lloyd Carr days, 2004, 2007, at least in this case. Obviously, Carr was there 95 through 2007, but Mike Hart asked about it, and of course the blog boys are running with it, just rubbing their inner thigh over getting, I'll talk about the baiting of the quote in a second. I'm giving it one Harbaugh head. So, Mike Hart, Michigan's all-time leading rusher, a name that's surprising and unknown to 0 Michigan fans. Everybody knows who Mike Hart is, yet his quotes are still being twisted and shifted just so the blog boys can get some headline. He's first season this year as Michigan's running backs coach. He's been around Syracuse, Eastern Michigan, Indiana the last 4 years as their running backs coach. Last year he was associate head coach. First year with Michigan, and he met with the media over the weekend. And it's pretty irritating how the local blog boys in Ann Arbor and Detroit like to twist words, because here's what Hart's quotes, one of the more, relevant quotes as regards to this story. He says, "Everything's been great. I only know what I know. I wasn't here last year. I think a lot of that was from the outside in. Nobody really knows what's going on inside the building except who is in the building, but I can say it's been great from my standpoint. Coach is great, and the players are awesome." And I'm going to say to you, don't believe the headlines, okay? The media is quote baiting Hart again, like they seem to do a lot of times, to put out a bunch of blue Kool-Aid when it comes to Michigan football. This is a 2-4 team that's hasn't beat Ohio State in a decade, lost 8 straight. Last year they didn't play the game. But this is very similar to last year when sloppy Sam Webb, one of the most dishonest scumbags out there, talking about Michigan football, said, Chris Hutchinson, tell me about your son. Tell me about Aiden. Yada, yada, yada. Well, I've heard him compared to the Bosa brothers at Ohio State. Would you say he's like the Bosa brothers? I don't like to make comparisons. But you've heard those comparisons, right? Maybe, yeah. Well, would you compare him to it? I guess you could say that. I'm like, he quote baited him just like they're doing to Mike Hart here. The full quote, they keep asking him over and over. Was it like it when you were here? Is the culture like when you were here? And finally they're like, so it sounds like you're saying it's like the culture when you were here. And he never actually said that, but the media keeps quote baiting him. Michigan's rivals websites, I don't know how they're still around, but they are. They put out this article, and I want to make sure you guys know. Mike Hart didn't come out and say that, right? He was quote baited into it. He liked me saying, like, hey, is your girlfriend the prettiest girl in the world? Well, I mean, I think she's pretty, but would you say she's the prettiest? Sounds like you're saying she's the prettiest girl in the world. Not what he said. I'm giving one Harbaugh head. Small shred of truth. He didn't deny that it was like the culture back when he was there, but he didn't come out and say it, and he didn't even offer it up that, hey, this is what I think. They just kept asking him, is it like? It's like it. A coach is not going to say no. What's Mike and Hart going to say? No, the culture is way different. They don't do this. They don't do that. He'd look like an idiot. So ask you this question. Your thoughts on the Mike Hart quote from the blog boys, Chris Balas, a real shisty individual. If you believe Balas and you think this is, his headline that Hart said the Michigan football is like the Carriers, type K or type F for facts. It's a fact below. If you think it's Kool-Aid and more of the same from Michigan football media leading up to a season, go ahead and type K. I'm going Kool-Aid in this one, but if you read the article, it's out on YouTube as well. So if you're going to search for Mike Hart from yesterday, go ahead. Let me know what you think. F for facts, K for Kool-Aid. With our facts, though, our Magic Spoon being awesome cereal. I mean, I'm telling you what, folks, I love Magic Spoon. Go to magicspoon.com/go blue. You've got 13 grams of protein. You've got 4 grams of net carbs, and the best part about Magic Spoon, it's unbelievable. 0 sugar. It's childlike cereal for adults. It tastes great and is good for you. Imagine eating amazingly tasting cereal every single morning or whenever you want to choose cereal that's high in protein. It's healthy for you, and there is no sugar. You're not getting a big belly like Sam Webb. Magic Spoon is the sponsor. Go ahead and get $5 off your first order. If you don't like it, you can tell me I'm an idiot, but it won't happen because I love Magic Spoon. I know you will too. It's healthy for you. Go to magicspoon.com/go blue. Save some money. Use that link /go blue, and you will get $5 off your first order. I'll put it down in the comments, and I will put it in the description below so you can get going with our sponsor, Magic Spoon Cereal. So really appreciate to them for coming out and giving us all of this awesome cereal and making the show possible for you. Next up, Junior Colson. Is he injured? There's a lot of buzz out there for Junior Colson. Now, 24/7 Sports put out a kind of lightweight recap, just saying, oh yeah, we talked to Junior's family. He's injured, but I've got the word on Colson. Got injured beginning last week, so I'm giving it 3 Harbaugh heads because it's, 3 Harbaugh heads means that it's probable it's happening. It's not necessarily injured in the sense that he can't play, but got injured early last week. Expected to be out 2 to 3 weeks, but from what we were told this morning, he will be back in time for Michigan's game, which is 1 week from this Saturday. Probably the most impactful freshman that Michigan has seen in the spring and then in this fall camp so far is Junior Colson, the true freshman out of Brentwood, Tennessee. Got injured, was in the 2 deep. We'll expect him to see him back in practice next week. Now, this could potentially greatly impact what we see from him in that first game of the year on September 4th against Western Michigan. His chance for playing time was significant before this injury. Now, TBD. We'll see what comes out of this first game. If Michigan is having their way with Western Michigan, likely we won't see Junior Colson. He'll be left on the bench. Maybe see a snap or 2 in special teams. But Nakai Hill-Green, obviously Michael Barrett, and then Josh Ross. You've got 3 linebackers you can count on, with Hill-Green maybe being one of the stars of camp so far, with Junior Colson probably being the star of camp from the true freshman perspective. But you've got the players I just mentioned. You've got Aiden Hutchinson, the third Bosa brother, according to Sloppy Sam Webb. You've got Daxton Hill. You've got a lot of players in this Michigan defense that you've heard of, but who is going to be Michigan's best defensive player this season for the Wolverines and first-year defensive coordinator Mike McDonald? I don't know what you guys think. I would hope it'd be Hutchinson or Dax Hill, but who knows what we're going to see with a very revamped defensive coaching staff, an all-new system. They're going to run mostly a 3-4 defensive set, so you might only get 2 linebackers on the field most of the time. You might see Aiden Hutchinson move out to like a linebacker, but it's really a defensive end in that 3-4 set. So go down, comment below who will be Michigan's best defensive player this season. Next up, Zak Zinter. Started 4 games last year. He's Michigan's best offensive lineman. We won't know until the season comes around. I told you months ago, I'm done drinking the blue Kool-Aid. I don't even believe stories that I report on myself sometimes if they're too positive. But Zinter looked good last year, and I'm giving this one 2 Harbaugh heads. People are talking that he is Michigan's best offensive lineman this year. Now, very rare that a true freshman lineman at a school like Michigan starts over half the games in a season. He was on the bench for the first couple games last year, Minnesota and Michigan State. Then there were injuries. There were a lot of injuries to the offensive line last year, most notably Jalen Mayfield, and Zinter got into the game as a true freshman, started the last 4 games of the year. And if games wouldn't have been canceled because of coronavirus and whatever happened with Michigan's supposed Big Ten game and supposed bowl game, he might have started 7-8 games last year had that been in place. But I'm giving it 2 Harbaugh heads. He's looked good from what we've been told. He started as a true freshman, so that's always a positive, especially at offensive lineman. But hold your horses just a little bit. We'll talk the offensive lineman depth chart where we expect to be the front five for this Wolverines offense here in a second. A lot of talented guys on that list. Before we do, though, take a look at this list. This is going to be a tough one for you. Best offensive lineman for this program since 2000, last 20 years. You got Taylor Lewan, one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the NFL. If you think it's Taylor Lewan, type TL. If you think it's Steve Hutchinson, only played 1 year in the 2000s, which was 2000. 4-year starter, 97, 98, 99, 2000. First round pick, I believe, in the 2000 NFL draft. NFL Hall of Famer, I think. Right, Tom? Hutchinson? Just was named an NFL Hall of Famer. And then you got Jake Long, first pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, number 1 overall. So type TL for Lewan, SH for Steve Hutchinson, and JL if it is Jake Long. And while you're down there commenting, scrolling back up, you see that red button that says subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's red. Make it gray, youtube.com/Michigan TV. We give you news. We talk about the rumors that maybe some other people won't talk about, and there's no sugarcoating. I try to be as honest as possible. I broker in honesty. If I lied like some other people and tried to give you all blue Kool-Aid, you wouldn't trust us anymore. You wouldn't keep coming back. So that is what we do. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. All right, let's end the show with this. My starting offensive lineman for Michigan at Western Michigan is across the screen from left to right. You've got Ryan Hayes, the 4th-year player. Started way back in 2019 as a redshirt freshman for a couple games in when Little John Runyon was hurt. Trevor Keegan hasn't got a ton of playing time at Michigan, redshirt sophomore at left guard. Andrew Vastardis, been around Michigan forever. He will get the start at center, we believe. Zak Zinter, as we just mentioned, true sophomore, will be your starter at right guard. And Andrew Stuber, how about the career he's had? He's moved all around. He moved inside last year to make room for Jalen Mayfield. Now he's back on the outside at right tackle. That is what I believe to be Michigan's starting offensive line for the opener against Western Michigan. And folks, this offensive line has a lot to prove. There was a ton of guys that got snaps last year. And you started a true freshman like we saw with Zintner. You had your best player and Jalen Mayfield got hurt. A lot of guys moved around last year, and it was a underwhelming offensive line performance for a lot of spells. But I felt towards the end of the year, that Rutgers game and then Penn State kind of here and there, they played pretty well. You've got a new offensive line coach in Sharon Moore, who's moving over from tight ends and co-offensive coordinator. Ed Warner, he's out. So if this offensive line struggles this year, there is going to be a lot of pressure on not only Jim Harbaugh and Josh Gattis, but also Sharon Moore. If you want more Michigan football news and rumors, though, make sure you follow me on Twitter, folks. I am at James Yoder. Preston Yoder starts school tomorrow, third year of preschool, last year of preschool, and he has a new pair of shoes. Thanks to you guys. Get me to 7,000 subscribers or followers on Twitter. Keep it rolling. 8,000. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. We will be back tomorrow with more Michigan football news and rumors. I have a mailbag for you. Until then, go blue.